Yo, what's the best heat press to buy? Let's talk about it.
Big Sife.
Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan. What's up, y'all? This is Fat Man Scoop. And right now, you watching the sensei, the number one, the king, my dude, Big Brando. He taught me, personally, me, Fat Man Scoop. All you gotta do is keep your mouth closed and your ears open. Listen to the man talk. That's knowledge personified right there, and I wouldn't trust nobody else but my dude, Big Brando. And I said it. Fat Man Scoop, Big Brando, let's go!
Satin everybody, boy Big Brando, and today let's talk about the heat presses that I own and what I recommend. So first things first, let's start this video off like this. Buy within your budget. Whatever fits your budget, that's gonna be the best heat press for you. There's no other way to explain that. Buy within your budget. You don't have to buy the equipment that I use. You don't have to buy the equipment that the next person uses. Whatever fits your budget, whatever fits your needs, that's gonna be the best heat press for yourself. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I've been posting a lot of Instagrams and TikToks of me pressing shirts, and a lot of people see me use the Ricoma 15x15, and a lot of people been seeing me use the Heat Press Nation 15x15. They're like, hey man, which one's better? Why are you using two different presses? And to answer it in short, there's no better of the two. They both work perfectly fine. They both do exactly what I need them to do. So in this video right here, what I'm gonna do is take the camera to the other room. We're gonna press up some shirts. You guys could see the different functions. You could see the small similarities and the small differences between the two heat presses, but I'll show you both, but I'll show you how both of them press up the same exact shirts. Now, to be perfectly honest, this is what I look for out of a heat press. Maybe you could look for the same exact things, or maybe these things don't even matter to you. But for myself, number one, slide out drawer. That's it. Standard clamshell, the ones that just pop open, close, where the bottom platen doesn't move or the top one doesn't move, just goes up and down. That is not for me. Reason being is because I like to lay my t-shirt on, place the transfer on. If I'm working directly under the heat, I'm not really getting a good chance to lay the transfer down correctly or the t-shirt down correctly. So a slide out drawer or a swing away press is gonna be your best bet. Why do I say that? Because you're not working directly under the heat and you're getting the bird's eye view, looking down to lay down your transfers correctly, lay down your t-shirt correctly. When you're working with a press that doesn't move and you're working directly under the heat, you can burn your knuckles. And depending if you're somebody that loads the t-shirt on front to back or back to front. A lot of guys that are used to screen printing load their t-shirts on back to front. That's with the collar closest to them, and then they lay the transfer down upside down towards them. For me, I like to lay my t-shirt front to back, meaning collar away from me, and then lay the transfer down facing me, reading right side up. And that might just be a mental thing for myself, but that's what I like to do. A lot of people do it the other way, and that's a traditional screen printer way because that's how you thread the t-shirt on where the collar's closest to you. That, personal preference. Whatever you want to do, whatever makes it easier for you, cool with me. So slide out drawer, swing away. Always gonna be the best bet for you. The other thing is buying from a company that backs their machines. Customer service is everything to myself. If ever I have an issue, I know that I can reach out to the companies that I buy presses from and they can say, hey, look, this is how you fix that, or this doesn't sound right, let me send you out a part to fix that. I need to make sure that the company backs the press that they're actually selling. I don't want to buy from eBay or Amazon from a company that doesn't really care, they're just moving units. And if something goes wrong, you asked out. That's me, not where I want to be, especially if I'm in the middle of production and my press goes down. Because if your press goes down, then your whole operation's down. A lot of us operate around the heat press. So if the heat press goes down, your business is down. If that press isn't on and working, you're not making any money. So reliability, durability, and also buying from a company that backs their machine. So before I take the camera over there, let's talk about it. I use the Heat Press Nation Signature Pro heat press. This is from their Signature series line. Signature Pro is the one that has the little sure pressure knob on there, so it has that little number readout so you know what pressure you're at. It has a slide out drawer and it has the auto open feature. Is the auto open feature needed? It's not. It's a nice to have, but I don't think it's really needed when you're looking for a heat press. To me, the slide out drawer is more important than the auto open, but the auto open is a nice to have feature. You gotta remember when you're clamping that sucker down on these auto open ones, what it's doing is it's slamming down a magnet on there and it's locking in place. So it doesn't pop open until the time's up and then it releases the magnet, pop, and it comes back up. On a regular heat press that doesn't have that auto open feature, you clamp that sucker down and when the time goes up, you lift up on the lever, boom, pops up. So like I said, is it needed? It's not needed, but it is a nice to have. The buttons on that thing are pretty straightforward. It has two arrow buttons and a center button that toggles between the different functions. This is how you set your duration time. This is how you set your degrees. This is where you set Fahrenheit or Celsius, whatever you want to operate with. Now, the pressure is all based on a screw down knob. That's all it is. Every manual press has that screw down knob. That's how you gauge your pressure. The sure pressure knob is pretty cool because it has numbers to associate with how much you're screwing down or how much you're backing it off. This is beneficial when you're pressing t-shirts and hoodies, right? So you want max pressure, heavy pressure when you're doing t-shirts. Max that sucker out till you can't clamp it down no more. Back it off a little bit, bingo, that's your heaviest pressure. Let's say that number's 40. Now, t-shirt thickness and hoodie thickness are two different sizes. So heavy pressure on a t-shirt wouldn't work for a hoodie. You would have to back it off a little bit to fit the hoodie in there to get that same heavy pressure. So if the t-shirt was set to 40, you would have to back it off maybe 10, 15. So you would go down to maybe 30, 25 to press the hoodie, and that'll be the heavy pressure for a hoodie. So why is that little number readout important? If you're going back and forth from t-shirts to hoodies and you need max pressure every single time on both of those, you know, t-shirt, spin it down to 40. You know you're gonna press a hoodie, back it off to 30 or 25. You know what I'm saying? It just makes production easier for you. If you didn't have that little readout, you would just be going based on the threads, how many threads you're screwing down or backing off. There's nothing wrong with that also. Like I said, it just comes down to production time, making things easier for yourself. Now, on the other hand, we have the Ricoma 15x15 heat press. That also has an auto open. That also has a slide out drawer. Big differences for me is it's a touch screen instead of physical buttons to push, and there's no pressure reading on there. So it doesn't have a sure pressure knob. This one is just screwing down the knob to go heavy and then backing it off to press a little lighter. That's all it is. Now, if you have one that just has the screw down, doesn't have the sure pressure, that's not the end of the world. What I used to do is I would screw it down to max out that pressure, get that heavy pressure. Then I would take a Sharpie and then I would mark the last thread that I could see. That way I know I just need to go down to that thread to be at my heaviest pressure for t-shirts. And then I would back it off, find that heavy pressure for a hoodie, and as you back it off, you take a different color Sharpie and you mark the last thread. So now you know, let's say you used a gold marker and a red marker. Gold markers for t-shirts, red marker is gonna be for hoodies. So you know, all right, I need to go to that red line just to get the heavy pressure for my hoodies, and then back it off, and I need to go to the gold line to get the heavy pressure for the t-shirts. That's what I used to do. So I'm gonna take the camera over there, I'm gonna show you guys pressing up these shirts, see how these things operate. All right, this is the big difference between the two heat presses. We're gonna be pressing Supacolor Transfers. So this one right here is a touch screen. We need to set this to 15 seconds. And then we also need to set this to 320 degrees. All right, let me show you how this thing presses. Using a size large t-shirt, like I said, we're pressing Supacolor Transfers. Lay the t-shirt all the way over, collar over the edge. Pull down on the armpits, make sure both sides feel even. Now we're gonna pre-press. So I have the Teflon sheet held on with refrigerator magnet clips. This Teflon sheet you could buy on Amazon, Heat Press Nation, all that good stuff. But these are just regular refrigerator magnet clips. First thing we're gonna do is a left chest print. 4 fingers down from the collar, where I'm gonna lay this transfer. And we're going based off of right here, peak in the collar, where the collar meets the shoulder of the t-shirt. Straight from here, straight down is where I want the center of that transfer. 4 fingers down. Heat press is set up to 320 degrees, 15 seconds. We're using heavy pressure. This Rakoma heat press has an auto open. Hot peel. Now let's do the back. Same exact thing. Front of the collar, I'm gonna lay all the way over the bottom platen. Front of the collar, over the edge, pull down on the armpits. Back print, I'm gonna go close to the edge. Most people always want to put their back prints close to the collar. I don't like doing that because when the t-shirt is being worn, I feel like that's too high up on the back. If you do it right below the front of the collar, it tends to land right in between the shoulder blades. The t-shirt looks different when it's flat on the press versus when it's actually draped on the body. And per Supacolor's instructions, we'll press it down one more time. Finished product. Back print and front print. All right, so this is the Ricoma 15x15 heat press. Slide out drawer, auto open feature. Biggest difference to me is touchscreen. There's no physical buttons. It's all digital on the screen. All right, check it out. Heat Press Nation Signature Pro Heat Press. This one right here, to adjust the time, this is what we gotta do. Press OK first. We're on Fahrenheit, press it again. We need to be at 320 degrees for 15 seconds. Now we wait for this thing to heat up. All right, now that the heat press is set up, 320 degrees, 15 seconds. Pressure setting is set at high. For the shirt pressure knob, I got it set to 53. This one has this little base cover right here. This comes with the heat press. To me, this thing makes it a little bit easier to slide the shirts on and off. It's not getting caught up on the rubber. So I really like the base cover on this thing. You could buy those at heatpressnation.com also. So same thing, laying the collar all the way over the edge, pulling down on the armpits, making sure it's nice and straight. If you don't lay your t-shirt down straight, your transfers won't be straight. Pre-press. Flatten out the t-shirt, no moisture coming up, good to go. 4 fingers down from the collar. On my press, I put these little pieces of tape right here. So this is the true center of the actual heat press. This one right here is for left chest prints. So once I do that, it makes it easier for me to just line things up right away and get going. This little Teflon cover, non-stick cover right here is from Heat Press Nation. It fits over your heat press kind of like a bed sheet. You don't need those refrigerator magnet clips. This thing just straps on, hangs on for life. Auto open, hot peel. Flip the shirt over, let's do it again. This little spot right here, somebody was asking about in another video. This from bad screen printed transfers where the ink started to bleed onto this little base cover right here. Once again, pulling down on the armpits. Back print. Close to the edge. Not going all the way up to the collar. Front of the collar is laying over the edge, and we're putting the transfer close to the edge. Hot peel. And press it down one more time. Done. Front print, back print.
All right, man, there you have it. See me press up 2 t-shirts with 2 different heat presses, and they both operate the same exact way. When it comes to buying a heat press, buy within your budget and look for the functions that matter to you. For me, the functions that matter to me whenever I'm buying a heat press or looking into heat press: slide out drawer, I need to be working outside of the heat. I don't like working directly under the heat. When that thing's popped up, I don't want to be anywhere here because I'm burning my knuckles on that thing. I want to be able to slide out and then work right here. Lay my transfers down, lay my t-shirts down, make sure I get this thing lined up and straight away. Second thing is, I want to buy from a company that backs up their machines. Customer service means everything to myself. These 2 companies, customer service, A1, perfect. Never had any issues with any of the presses, but I know if I did, I can hit them up, they'll help me troubleshoot. They are 1 phone call, 1 email away at all times. If you're interested in any of the presses that I use,
The links are in the description box for you. The links aren't there for you to buy, it's for you to do more research and get more information about these things. Remember, you want to make an educated decision when you're buying these heat presses. Don't just buy something because I'm using it. Buy something that makes sense to you and your business, all right? Now, if you got any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Follow me on Instagram, BigBrandoTV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.